Yeah.
Oh, he's pressed it.
I've pressed it.
We're going.
You can.
There you go. Oh, that's the signal.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
I
That sounded nice.
I think the signal was when he said he'd started recording.
Yeah. All right. A little bit late there.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Breakdown Culture number 6.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, technically it's like number 20 something.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. You know,
Yeah.
new label on that. Label? You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Right. Anyway, coming up today we have not much going on in terms of news, but we've got some stuff from Marilyn Manson, which is pretty funny.
It's a bit funny. Probably not for him.
Yeah. All right. We've got some stuff on Rob Flynn, Every Time I Die, and Phill Anselmo. We'll get to that in a second. So we've got 4 pretty big album reviews this week, I think. Really, we've got Prophets of Rage, Arcane Roots, Enter Shikari, and the Foo Fighters. They've all been sort of
Busy.
been busy. I think we've all got pretty split opinions on a lot of them, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah. And then I went to a gig, which I'll be doing a little review of. And then today's topic, we're going to look at sort of long play versus short play. So we asked the question: do we think the album is still as important for rock and metal bands as it used to be? A lot of bands are releasing singles now, so we're going to look into that and EPs as well, and see sort of what's most effective to stay relevant and sort of keeping their fan base entertained. So that'll be a good debate to have. And then the game this week, we've sort of switched it up. I think this is going to be a funny one. So rather than doing a genre of music, where we usually, if this is your first time listening, we the game is a section of our podcast where we go into a new genre of rock and metal, and we try and find a band that we like that we haven't heard before. We bring it to each other to
Slate.
Usually slate and or celebrate.
We found some gems.
We have.
We've
done all sorts, but this week isn't a genre. This is going to be misheard lyrics. So whenever you've heard a sort of rock or metal song, and it sounded like they've been singing something else, because I've found this quite a lot over the years, and it's been pretty fucking funny. So I thought it'd be a bit of a laugh.
What's a laugh?
Yeah. Then we're going to look at My All Killer from last week, which was the Marmosettes album. And then we're going to go over to Rob's this
My
week.
Killer, yeah.
Yeah, which none of us know what it is, do we?
No,
No,
we
he's
don't know.
been very cryptic about it.
Because I was a bit iffy about it. I don't know.
What do you mean you're a bit iffy about
No,
it?
I mean, yeah, I like it, and it's an all killer for me, but
He doesn't sound too confident.
No.
we'll see.
Yeah.
You have to listen to it anyway.
This is
So.
the point there. Right, anyway, okay, well, hope you enjoy. As always, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, / or at the BC Pod. And we'll sort of get back in touch with anyone who wants to take interest. Give us some feedback on YouTube and all that stuff, and SoundCloud. And,
Please, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we know you're out there. Somewhere. Anyway, right, let's get on with it. So the news this week. It came out, I think it was last week. Marilyn Manson kicked off his new tour, coming up for promoting his new album. And I think it was in New York. It was during the performance of Sweet Dreams. He decided to climb onto the stage prop, which was like 2 guns facing opposite each other. Did you guys see a video of
Well,
this?
he had injured himself the night before as well.
Oh, okay. Right.
He basically twisted his ankle, but he told everyone he'd broken his ankle on stage, but managed to, carry on with the performance.
What a trooper.
I know. And then went and did this the day after.
Right. Okay.
Well, really hurt himself.
Yeah.
I bet the crowd were like, "Oh man, he's amazing. He's crazy."
Yeah.
Oh, he's crushed himself.
Yeah. What a guy.
So for those that don't know, he decided to climb onto the stage prop, which is 2 guns. I guess on some scaffolding. It was made out of like metal. It was propped up by some metal poles. And then as he climbed onto it, apparently instantly it fell back and crushed him during the song. And then he had to get sort of, I guess, carted off and went to hospital. And he's now cancelled the rest of his tour.
It makes me wonder how heavy these things actually are. I mean, they're pretty fucking big. Yeah. Have you seen the picture? But they're just made of foam.
I've not seen a picture of him like afterwards or anything.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some stage shit.
Hang on, you say these things like, everyone has there's different levels of stage props and,
I can't
sets and
remember
stuff.
who said it. I was reading part of an interview with somebody,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Well, these things because they're that big and they have to be carted around on tour and they need to be set up with minimal manpower, basically.
Yeah.
They're basically just giant foam props.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, something that big, regardless of whether it's made of foam, it's going to be heavy. But for him to cancel the rest of his tour, I was like, well, fucking hell, how heavy actually is this foam?
This is a fucking 24 carat fucking steel.
Yeah, like, at the end of the day, if you're going to be a knob and start climbing over your stage props, then, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't he wasn't he laying there for 15 minutes?
Yeah, the Rolling Stone article says he was laying there for several minutes, and then they, the workers started yelling, "Ice, ice!" Give him an ice pack. And I think that apparently the whole crowd was just like sort of really awkwardly kind of just staring, like not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
I probably thought it was just another one of his
Crazy.
stage
Tantrums.
antics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh look, he's crushed himself.
Oh, he's asking for oxygen again.
He must be getting on a bit now, right? Mustn't he? So
Yeah.
He's got really fat.
He has got
Is he?
a bit
Oh,
fat.
yeah.
Yeah.
right.
He's a chunky fuck now. He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see an interview with him, and he did have nearly as much chin as I do. So. Right.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
For the listeners, I've just
He
shown
is positively round.
I've just shown them a recent picture of Manson.
I think
Next
this-
to Alice Cooper, who looks
Wow.
like a corpse.
I mean, that's going to be the
just a-
transformation on
that's
one
just a
page.
skull.
I mean, that's going to be a mirror of like.
Yeah, I mean, his
Of each
face
other.
looks like a ball sack.
balls. I like the fact that Marilyn Manson has
Looks
got
like a ball sack.
no, yeah, and that he's got a dad bod.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's in his 50s now, isn't
He's
he?
just a fat fuck now.
Must be.
You can't like palm it off as a dad bod. He's just
He's
he's got fat and lazy.
yeah.
It's not quite. What's his face from Brian from Soup? Have you seen
Oh
him?
God, he looks like he's
Jared?
eating them.
Yeah, Jared.
He's bigger than the guitarist now.
Yeah.
He's
That's
bigger
it.
than the other fat one.
The guitarist.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how it happened because he was quite a small guy and
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, your
Ooh.
metabolism slows down, but he obviously got excited about.
he looks
about
like he's
the
eating their
alarm.
fan base.
Right. Anyway, moving on from fat shaming. Let's
We could
run off
start.
into the next topic. So, best wishes to Marilyn Manson. Hope he gets better and can get back on stage. I think we're going to be
A lot
covering
of that tour was sold out.
Yeah.
The UK tour sold out completely. Yeah.
He's cancelled the UK.
I'm not
stuff
sure.
as well.
Well, I've seen that today that he cancelled like 8 or 9 shows. I'm not sure how long the tour was supposed to be. So
That tour's not
Yeah.
till December. Manson's
Oh, okay.
UK tour.
this is the
Right.
current one that he's on, which I guess is in America.
I guess
so.
the American one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope he gets better.
Yeah, of course.
Right then,
Who's next?
let's talk. There's been obviously some tragic events. I feel like we're all talking about tragic events these days.
Man, every podcast there's something
Yeah.
fucking tragic going on. It's
Yeah.
like
To lead up to the story that we're going to cover, basically, if you live under a fucking rock, you
Yeah.
you wouldn't have heard the fucking news. But everyone knows about this. Country festival in Las Vegas. There was a mass shooting, which now has turned out to be the biggest in US history, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this crazy motherfucker managed to get hold of like 10, 12 guns up to a hotel room and fire down on a country festival, killing 59 people, tragically. Obviously best wishes to everyone involved, and I don't even know where to start with it. It's such a heavy topic. There's a lot of political debates going on about gun control, which we can have at another point. But to keep this podcast on topic, Rob Flynn from Machine Head has sort of responded to this, saying that he doesn't feel comfortable playing Davidian again,
yeah, I guess.
which is a
what
song where he references
he references freedom and a shotgun blast.
like Freedom Ring with a shotgun blast,
Yeah.
which is a big part of their set. It's like a mainstay of their set at this point. isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think if
So-
you see Machine Head live and you don't
Yeah.
hear Davidian, a lot of people will be pretty disappointed
Yeah.
or surprised.
Yeah.
Like it's,
So I'd like to ask: is that song actually about gun control, or is that line? Because obviously you hear that line, that sounds like it kind of is about freedom of America and Second Amendment rights.
I don't know whether it's about gun control, but I think that line in particular, again, I can't remember where I read it, might have been Metal Sucks I was reading. And they said that line in particular is about gun violence.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, I can understand why he wouldn't want to play that song anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, people shouldn't be that easily influenced by like music or TV or
Yeah. I was going to say
whatever.
he shouldn't feel any sense of
But
responsibility.
you're always going to get somebody that takes it literally, because some people are just fucking awful.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, at the moment, where we're at this point, is, the media are doing their research into this guy and trying to understand his motives and not finding any sort of real political reasoning, and this is sort of besides the point of music, but obviously it being a music festival and this not being the first time this has happened at a gig,
Yeah.
I guess it makes it sort of poignant, really, that if you've got a song that's kind of alluding to that sensibility,
Yeah.
it would make sense that he would want to tread carefully.
Absolutely. And given that line in the song is probably the main sing-along sign, like or line, like, in that song, to stand up in front of thousands of people and scream that lyric when you don't fully believe in it would be probably like really difficult to do. So
Especially for a man like him, like he's always stood by his convictions.
yeah. Yeah, so for him to not be able to like wholeheartedly get behind that line and hear the crowd sing it with him, probably would be pretty difficult for him. So just be best
He
to
has
just
said
cut it
that they
out.
will probably continue to play. So that's just how he feels at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of America are mourning and sort of, responding in their own way. This article, he says, it's a horrible thing that what happened in Las Vegas is fucking appalling. When I first heard the news, I couldn't even put it together. This morning I thought I don't ever want to fucking play that song again. I even texted the dudes and said, it's fucking crazy. We probably will. We didn't discuss it, but that's just how I feel right now.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of like his reaction.
Like a knee-jerk reaction
Yeah.
to it. But fair enough.
Yeah.
Really.
They can swap that song. They can swap it for anything.
Well, they've
There
got
are
a strong
some,
enough
can't
set
they?
list or strong enough songs to be able to close with something different. I think people would understand,
Yeah.
to be honest. So.
I think that it's becoming more, like I just said, it's becoming more and more common that we're talking about these sorts of events.
It's horrible, man.
It really is. It is. It's
that every discussion on this podcast begins with something fucked up or tragic or whatever.
A friend of mine, I don't know whether I'm going to try and put this without throwing this person under a bus. Kind of like
he's about to throw something.
It's a thing that is about to happen.
Daddy then throws person. Friend of mine, I say friend of mine, someone that I sort of, an acquaintance, I suppose, someone that I was sort of going to jam with in a band.
Yeah, that's you distance yourself.
Yeah. Well, we've not hung out, put it that way, but we were going to have a jam together. She's on holiday at the moment, all across America, and she's doing the touristy thing of sort of, just documenting and having a good time or whatever. And I think that's great to see. Like, if you go on holiday, that's what you do. You take photos and you enjoy. Yes, that's how some people are. But she decided to, I believe it was 2 or 3 days ago, so probably 2 days. This happened on Monday or Sunday night at the festival.
Yeah.
She posted a photo holding some assault rifle, like at a gun shop, and basically put like "when in America," hashtag gun culture.
Right. Yeah.
And another friend of mine just jumped in and just said,
really,
it's a little bit too soon, sort of thing, and they sort of fell out about it. And I can see both sides of the argument, because obviously gun culture in America isn't going to change overnight. This is their way of life. It's until you go there and experience it. I can totally see why she would kind of get involved. But on the same token, it's like
I wouldn't flaunt that.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
That's just bad timing, I think.
Well, I mean, if you're like, I've got pictures of that. Like Las Vegas, there's like 5 or 6 gun shops. You can go there and shoot any gun you want.
Yeah. But it's just the timing of it, though, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So I think like
a couple of days after that happens, I wouldn't be one posing with a gun on my face. Probably would be a bit insensitive, maybe. But yeah, it's a heavy topic. A lot of strong opinions on gun rights, gun ownership, the right to bear arms. Should it be now? Should it not? Blah blah blah.
That amendment is so old.
It is.
Well, right. When was it
So we
written?
get
When guns could fire one shot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like they could hold
saw
a single fucking bullet.
I saw somebody
That
say
was
that
written.
would be like writing that amendment now and expecting it to still be appropriate for weapons 150 years from now. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could say this about a lot of old scripture and stuff, you know. But I guess the point I'm sort of trying to make is a lot of people are clearly reacting and saying their piece maybe a little bit too soon. And I think in terms of appropriation, maybe it's best for everyone to just can't let it all die down before kind of make any decision. Because we could tear apart so many heavy songs about like violence and what it condones.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Of course, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anywho, so hopefully next podcast we'll have some just full-on
Maybe.
light-hearted.
Full on positive news.
Yeah.
Doubt it.
I seriously doubt
Was
it.
any good news anyway?
Yeah.
We have got some good news.
Have we?
Well, controversial person / good news. Phill Anselmo has announced he is forming a new band, which he's been working on behind the scenes.
He always seems to have a new band on the go.
I literally don't care. At this point, I just don't care anymore about that guy. I really don't. But what's he got going on?
The band is called On Minor or N Minor. I presume it's pronounced On Minor. And he's describing it as sort of like a goth-inspired 80s sort of band. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't going to come out with a fucking pop record, was he? Like, it's Phill Anselmo. Apparently this album's been done for 2 years, he said.
Really?
Yeah, and
I just...
Just stop.
sort of,
Like,
but I was interested.
What happened to Down? What are they doing?
You got put down.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'd be all for
Down
some.
or- down or a
No,
solid
you know
band.
what? You know what? I'd be down for some down. But all this new stuff, I don't know, man. It was just not interested.
He's had
I'm
like
just-
2 other new bands. I can't even remember who they are. Cause I
We
just
have him and the
didn't care.
Illegals. Him and the
Yeah.
Illegals as well.
Yeah.
Superjoint Ritual.
Superjoint
But
Ritual.
these are all bands that have been going for a long
Oh,
time.
he put
Yeah.
Superjoint Ritual back together.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
Just fucking pick,
Pick
something.
However, we're not getting a Pantera reunion. We can debate if we ever want
jeez.
that, but I don't think it would be right.
No.
But Down, I think we could all agree is the one band because other than that, I've not enjoyed anything else that he's done. To be fair, so and his voice isn't what it used to be.
No,
either.
it really isn't.
So, but he's sort of describing this as being inspired by The Cure, early U2, and Nick Cave and stuff like that.
For God's sake, Phil, what are you doing?
Yeah. But I would love to be. I mean, I'll check it out. I'll be checking for it. You know, curiosity.
Okay, yeah, do you know what,
we'll
we'll
go for it.
We'll listen to it, we'll review it, and Phil, just enough, man. What's next?
Oh, goddamn, man, I'm just gonna come back and I'm gonna give you the best fucking record you ever heard, goddamn. No, it's even gruffer than that now, isn't it? Like, oh yeah, goddamn.
Yeah, he sounds like he's like gargling with gravel.
Yeah. Every Time I Die. Every Time I Die's drummer has decided to part ways with the band.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit! Really?
Daniel Davidson. Yeah, he's not been with them long though. He only recorded the last album. Forgot the name of the last album, sorry.
Low teens.
Low Teens, thank you. I was going to say X-Lives, that's a while ago.
Hell of an album.
Yeah. Brilliant drummer. He was also part of Norma Jean originally.
Okay.
And then moved on to help out Under Oath after Aaron Gillespie left them for a while on their last album, which is incredibly underrated. And then, it seems like the statement they put out basically...
It was entirely mutual, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
sounds
Like, he
like
just
it's-
turned
yeah.
around and said that basically the touring life was too much for him, and they were quite happy for him to part ways. I think they were a little bit saddened by it, but it was entirely mutual. When I first saw it, I thought, fucking hell, what's happened here?
Yeah. It's not for everybody, is it? The touring life.
They're pretty ruthless. Like for a band that've been going as long as they have, their touring schedule is pretty insane.
Yeah.
And they play all kinds of venues, and they're very popular. But going from like, obviously, I suppose it's like a joint headliner with Comeback Kid, isn't it? At the Coco in London coming up, to then the Owl Sanctuary where we saw them in Norwich, which was just silly. I couldn't believe I was watching in that small venue.
Yeah,
I wish I'd have gone to that.
Everyone was just on stage the whole time.
Wow.
It was just carnage.
It's a big
But-
party.
Yeah, you know, and I guess they're probably at that. I don't want to make presumptions, but if it's talking about touring life, it might be at that age where it's kind of like difficult to maintain with family. And
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
So-
you get to an age where you probably have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
But he sent a pretty heartfelt message to the band and said that they're really great friends, and then obviously to all of the fans as well, and sort of gave like equal shout outs to everybody. So
Okay.
and they've got a replacement drummer already, someone called Goose apparently.
Fucking goose.
Clayton Goose.
From.
From Norma Jean.
I said I've like switched.
Oh, okay. So the now drummer of Norma Jean replaces the old drummer of Norma Jean. Okay, fair enough.
It's just stealing Norma Jean's.
Great trade deal.
You know.
I'm sure it won't affect them too much.
No.
Anyway.
Well, carry on. And then I think they're on one right now as well. Even though they're at this point in their career, then that last album was incredible.
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to be. Those shows are going to be awesome.
Mm.
I've come back here.
Again, if you have tickets out there, you don't want them.
Sexual favours.
Yeah, that's all we're offering. Are we all four of us?
Sure, yeah.
I
Yeah.
really want to go, but yeah.
Well, how
No
much
dice.
cock do you want to suck?
None. So I don't want to go as much as you.
Can we at least do this separately? Like,
At least he's already got 4 tickets.
And he doesn't even want to go.
You fuckers.
We are sorry.
Lizzie cries into a beer. All right.
Actually, it's nearly a pint of Southern Comfort.
Oh, okay.
It's a cocktail.
Cocktail soup. Right. Let's get on to.
We are degenerating here.
Yes. Let's get on to some album reviews. Let's get a bit.
Okay.
productive.
Okay, here we go. I like this.
So I'm going to start us off with Prophets of Rage.
Yes.
Their debut self-titled album. Who wants to start us off with this one?
Yeah, go on then.
Go
Okay. Yeah. Ultimately, I found it really difficult not to compare this to Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I mean, it is in the name as well, I guess.
This is the thing. The art, it's in the artwork, it's in the name. Like Audio Slave felt like a completely different project and a different band, and I wasn't making that connection.
Yeah.
So it was like I could just listen to Audio Slave in their own right, but Prophets of Rage, I'm hearing it with an expectation of wanting it to be like Rage Against the Machine. Being like a massive Rage Against the Machine fan, I kind of thought going into it, I was like wanting to hear that recreated, basically, and it didn't stand up.
I think we kind of had
Ultimately.
expectations having seen them at Download as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
I mean,
it's not like you're going in blind to it, is it?
no,
So,
it's true. But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was good fun. Had some really cool riffs, but yeah, it lacked the anger and intensity that I was really looking for.
I think it's more fun than it is angry. Like.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
No, I didn't think it was fun at all.
But well, it's not rage level aggression in
No,
terms
it's
of
not.
the vocal delivery. You know, you're replacing it with, obviously rage is still rap, but you've got Chuck D and Be Real, and it's much more that bounce between those kind of like baritone kind of yaw.
It reminded me actually.
yes, yaw, and then like the squeaky kind of fucking.
It reminded me of Renegades a little bit actually.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine's cover album.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was alright. I didn't hate it.
Mhm.
There were some really cool riffs on there. Some really cool songs. I really did enjoy "Unfuck the World" as a song. Oh yeah, I put that on quite a bit.
Yeah. That was a single leading up to it.
Yeah, it was a
wasn't
single.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. How
some
did you
good
feel
moments.
about "Hail to the Chief"? That was one of my favourite tracks on the album.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's "Hail to the Chief" had this kind of.
Oh, is that
like-
the one with this huge riff?
Yeah.
At the start.
It's kind of similar to "Unfuck the World," but then it's just like at the end it just goes into like, because you know ultimately you say like the riffs. Tom Morello, you know a Tom Morello riff when you hear one. It's like it's pretty basic, but it's just so distinctly him.
Yeah. They were still there, those
Yeah.
riffs, but they were a lot kind of lower. I felt lower in the mix. They didn't cut through in
Really?
the same way. That's why I felt like this felt like a lot more of a polished version.
Yeah, I mean,
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought it sounded, production-wise, the whole album sounded really big. You know, considering it's one guitar, but you've then got a DJ and you've got two rappers.
Yeah.
And then the rhythm section, you know, Copperfield and Brad, like those, the bassist and the drummer and those three members of Rage Against the Machine are always going to have a really solid rhythm section
Yes.
with bounce and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, how do you feel like Rob?
I thought it was a massive snooze fest, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't like it at all. Like, it just seems like a parody album, a parody Rage Against the Machine album. Like,
Yeah,
His problem is
agree.
this comparison to Rage Against the Machine all the time. I can't.
That is the thing.
I can't
Yeah.
shake that.
Yeah. Well, nor can I.
And that's the problem I'm having with this album.
I mean, you could have done a whole Rage Against the Machine album and just put the two rappers on that album as well, or like instead of the other guys singing. But apart from that, like,
no,
I wanted it to end.
Yeah, I the thing for me as well that I couldn't help but compare it to Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody who thinks that Rage Against the Machine are the most overrated band in metal. So the fact that I kept comparing them to
Not
Rage
really a
Against
metal
the
band,
Machine,
though, are they?
well, I don't give a
Really?
shit.
Yeah.
They're awful.
Yeah. I think you've been a bit.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Right, because
I hate Rage
It's
Against
one
the
of these
Machine,
bands
and the
that-
fact that I'm
yeah.
comparing them to Rage Against the Machine,
Well, they are
I knew I
three
wasn't
parts.
going to like it.
Yeah.
They are
The
big
thing
parts
is
of
they've
Rage.
been very explicit about the fact that they're not a new band. Like, they are a new band, but they're not. It's. They've said in interviews it was time to bring the rage back. Hence the
Sure.
word. The times we live in, the political side of it, and if they wanted to start a new thing, it would sound different. But this intentionally is like carrying on Rage Against the Machine, just with different vocalists. And I personally think that the rappings, because you guys know I'm into hip hop and stuff.
Sure.
Like, I personally think it suits it really well because there's so much groove to all of these songs.
Yeah.
That it you know it
I
wouldn't
get it.
sound right having like a heavy vocal over it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy them at download. I sat on the floor.
boring fuck.
Yeah.
And
I'm a fucking party man.
No,
Yeah.
I knew
No.
I knew I wasn't going to enjoy this album.
Yeah.
Like, I always try and listen to something without having any preconceptions, but I knew from the get-go exactly how I would feel about this album.
Right.
And I didn't disappoint myself.
All right. Okay.
Well done. Yeah, I didn't.
I'm completely with you on this one, Rob.
Notable tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
Legalise weed. No.
I actually, I really didn't like that. That song made me laugh.
I
more than
didn't like
anything.
that. I was like, that was
'Cause
very
when you had-
cringy.
Nor did
Yeah,
I.
when you had
why it
fucking
was
Be
notable.
Real singing like it's smoking color, whatever it is,
Yeah,
and it's all like
yeah, yeah.
auto-tuned.
You can
Yeah.
smoke here, you can smoke there. Well,
Yeah. Come on, Kez.
Legalise me.
Yeah, I really liked I liked the vast majority of it, but you said it was a snooze fest. I would totally agree with that on the last like 4 or 5 songs.
Okay.
So I thought this whole album was 7-8 songs, really fun for me. Really liked Living on the 110.
That was cool.
Radicalized. Hell to the Chief is probably my favourite. Just that double time beat when it comes in towards the end it just gets me every time. I can't help but just groove to it. What did you think of? Anyone make note of Take Me Higher, the complete funk song in the middle? There is the song that is just a pure funk song. Or did you just skip over this?
I think
I listened to it, but I
think
can't. I can't remember.
Nah.
Like it is fucking. I can't help but groove to it. It's just fucking stupidly fun, and it's just there's not much heavy guitar on it. It's kind of all like sort of wah focused and just kind of on that real swing. That kind of it sounds like a '90s album as well. Is what I like about it. Like it. The first time I heard Public Enemy was playing and hearing their crossover. What was their crossover song that they did in Tony Hawk's like back in the day?
Fuck.
It was like Public Enemy and Anthrax, or something like that.
Yeah. Holy shit. What
yeah.
was that?
They had a song together, and that's where I first heard Chuck D's voice. And this album was like just such a throwback, but it sounded huge. Like I really enjoyed. I felt like I was in the 90s listening to it. Like it should have been brought out back then, sort of thing.
Was it Bring the Noise?
Yeah, Bring the Noise. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some fucking brilliant riffs. Like even on Take Me High, there's like just the guitar work I really like. However, once we got to, I think it's track 8 or 9 called Fired a Shot. Legitimately sounds like an Arctic Monkeys song.
Yeah.
And then it just really plummets downhill for me. Like the last few songs just completely.
There's not a lot going on there, is there? No.
Yeah, it's just like who fired the shot? We fired the shot. Who fired the shot? We fired the shot. Like it just goes on and on. Like I got very bored of it for the last 4 songs. However, if they were to play, I'd go see him again. I don't actually want to hear some of these songs live as well.
I would book tickets to go see them. Yeah, I would 100%.
Yeah. Would you, Rob?
No.
No.
No, I would not.
Are you a Rage Against the Machine fan, Rob?
I
never know.
I've never had an album, and I've only heard the main singles. But
okay. Yeah.
But
you should listen to their first album, the self-titled album.
Why bother?
It is their most awesome, revered kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Just listen to Balls on Parade.
Yeah.
You probably know that already.
Yeah. All right.
What are we giving it then?
6 Bs.
I'm torn between 7 and 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go 7.
Okay.
Based on
the plummet at the end.
Yeah.
4. Also a 4 Bs.
Oh, okay. All right. That was generous.
Mate, I've not even got started yet.
He's saying all of it.
This is gonna be fun. Let's get on to Arcane Roots, because I introduced you guys to this band. I don't think any of you had really heard them before, had you? No. So you'd heard a little bit, Fisher.
Yeah, I'm out of this one.
Right.
Sorry.
What, you haven't heard this
No.
album? Okay, right.
No.
New album. This is their second full-length album called Melancholia Hymns. To give it a bit of backstory, I've sort of did a bit of research on this and seen in interviews that they've got a full-length album in 2013, which is fucking incredible, called Blood and Chemistry, and 2 EPs, or like mini albums. But their last EP that they put out was fucking brilliant, but they started going a bit more like accessible, kind of as, kind of slightly math rocky, but with huge choruses and massive riffs. Whereas recently on that EP they started going a bit more. The obvious comparison was like Biffy Clyro, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Heaven and Earth.
That's what I got down.
Heaven and Earth, and their last EP it had like a long name or something. But they said after that they didn't want to go down that route. They know that they can write rock songs. They just want to go full on experimental. And I was expecting this album to be kind of all over the place. But what I think we got with this is a really like consistent cinematic kind of album. Like he learned the piano for it, and the violin and all the synth stuff going on is all based on his learning of the last 2 years. Okay. So I think it's a really like impressive album on that perspective. So, but I'll get into that more. So how do you guys feel about it?
I actually really, really like this. It's very 432 hertz. Have you heard that, the miracle tone?
No.
It's a tone that is made from like quartz crystals, meant to
Isn't it meant to like
very like meditation and things like that.
Yeah, it's meant to like soothe or stop all anxiety and
this negative energy. And
okay,
all that
cool
sort of stuff.
Right, yeah.
And that's what it seemed like throughout the album. It was very atmospheric.
Yeah.
Very soothing.
So the way it opens is like I sort of described it as like a fucking widescreen film, like curtains going down or opening up sort of thing.
Okay.
Like if you type in 432 hertz on YouTube and you get loads of like meditation stuff.
Yeah.
It's very good for the morning.
I can get that.
5 o'clock in the morning drive.
Fuck that. Nothing's good for a 5 o'clock in the morning drive.
Yeah, it's really good. I noticed the drums on there, just full of fills.
He's a new drummer as well that recently joined them.
That really makes the album pop, I think. His drums on that. Is the guy's voice as well. I've not heard any other Arcane Roots albums, but got a good voice. Awesome scream on that as well.
He's got a high register, hasn't he? He fucking sings his arse off.
Tracks like track 2, Matter, 4, Off the Floor,
Yep,
and Curtains.
Well, Curtains was their first single. Well, it was actually way before the album came out, and they put that out, and I was just like, okay, this is very different. It's very synthetic, and it wasn't really doing much. It was very moody and kind of like muddy under the mix. And then it kicks in with that like sort of slam at the end that's just so simple, but just like I was like, well, this is massive.
Yeah.
And considering this is a 3-piece band as well, which is something
really?
to take note of. Yeah,
it
it's
sounds-
like, how do you even
sounds big.
sound that big, like as a 3-piece?
I had
band?
no idea they were a 3-piece.
Really?
I mean, I'd never listened to them
Yeah.
before I listened to this album, and holy fuck, they're talented. Like, they are so good at what they do. I genuinely enjoyed this album. I've not listened to it enough to really be able to pick anything out.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's just at the moment just an incredibly long string
Yeah.
of so much going on
Yeah.
that I can't quite pick anything out. Like, I'll go back and I'll listen to it again. The more I listen to it, the more I'll be able to pick things out. The more I'll be able to say, oh, I really like this song, really like that song. At the moment, genuinely enjoy what I'm hearing, but I don't think they're a band that I could go and see live because I wouldn't know what the fuck was happening.
Right.
Yeah,
You get it live. I mean, like, especially with a mixture of their other stuff, it's kind of like it definitely takes on a life of its own live. Like, I was really impressed. We saw them at the upstairs waterfront on the last album tour before we played them at Fort Fest, and there was about 30 people there. It was mental, and they're on tour with Shikari last year, Don Broco, all sorts of bands that are pretty fucking big, and but then they came to Norwich and like no one knew who they were. It's funny how it goes, but. But I really admire the fact that it's so an entity. It's not trying to pander. It's clearly made for their own enjoyment. You know, it's not like reaching for the radio. Do you have any like moments of songs that you can pick out that you really enjoyed?
I can't, to be honest. I've only listened to it a couple of times, but I like how well it transitions. Like, it can be really atmospheric and melodic 1 minute, and then next thing you know, it's just fucking kicking you in the teeth. And it's not like a jarring change. It just, I don't know how they do it, but it just works so well, even though they're two completely different sounding elements of the songs.
Yeah, and there's noticeably less screaming on this album, but when he does, and over the riffs that he plays, and also like I think even if you're not a guitarist, to watch like Off the Floor, you mentioned, when that kicks in, it's like it key changes as it kicks in. And he's literally fucking shredding and singing at the same time. And you watch it live and you're just like... It's kind of like the whole Fall of Troy thing that Boff talked about, where we're all just there like, you're a guitar god. It's pretty mental. Because I had to sort of... Because I've reviewed it, I've gone quite in depth with like things to do with the lyrics and stuff. There's a song called Indigo, which I think is track 3, where it just kind of all cuts out and just goes very sort of low-end synthy. And he starts singing, just say the word, I'll go if that's what you're saying. He's basically just talking about like recluding away from everyone and all of your problems and stuff. And that kind of, I guess, alludes to a breakup. But they just put his voice at the bottom of the mix and it just sounds like he's being buried by all this synth. And it's just stuff like that that's so fucking clever the way it's done. And like, I would definitely recommend, if you haven't heard it, listen to it with a good pair of headphones, because the level of all of the little... When I say synth, I'm not talking like fucking shitty, like I don't know, like sharp synth. It's kind of this. It's so textured, you know. There's lots going on, and then there's like a ballad at the end as well, like Half the World. I don't know if you picked up on that, which was like 6-7 minutes long as well, which was epic. But
I say the whole album's really quite epic.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting from this band, but I was not expecting that.
Yeah. But even people that do like them, we're going to see them in Peterborough in a few weeks if you guys want to join. But which I'll talk about this afterwards. But anyway, like even like me, Boff, and Jake are like huge fans of them, and like I think like they're all really impressed with it. But they were both just like, this wasn't what I was expecting at all. Like, it is such a left turn from what their other stuff was. So I think you might like the other stuff even more, because it's much more kind of just like rock. It requires less patience. It's just like a slap in the face. Do you remember track 9, Everything All at Once? There's a bit at the end where it just goes absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I don't even really know where to go with it. Like, again, it's just nothing like I was expecting at all, and especially the first time I was listening to it.
Yeah.
Like I had it on in the background, I'd be listening to it, and then when it does just go fucking mental, or it suddenly gets really, really heavy, like suddenly I'm just like, holy shit, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah.
They're a very difficult band for me to describe.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard anything like it.
I think they're on at something then with that kind of reaction, personally. Fisher, go check it out.
Yeah, I will.
What are we rating it?
I'll go with 6 Bs.
6
Six. I thought you were going to go higher.
No. I mean, if I'd listened to it more,
Tough crowd, man.
Yeah.
if I'd listened to it more,
Yeah.
and I was able to like pick out bits that really stood out for me,
Yeah.
I probably would have gone higher. It is a really genuinely impressive album.
Yeah. Alright, I gave it a 9, so I'm going to stick with that. I think that's probably my highest rated album of this week. Right, I think I'm going alone on this one with Enter Shikari, The Spark. We've not really spoke about this too much. I'm just going to let you guys reel off, and I might try and redeem it afterwards.
All right, we'll go around.
Shall we?
Because
I think
well,
we should just shout at each other.
I really don't mind going last and
James-
just ending it.
James and Rob hate it. I'm impartial. Danny, I think likes
Look,
it. So
you
let's-
tell us what you think about it, Danny.
and they're gonna tear you down.
Yeah, I prefer it the other way around because it's to kind of go off on a nice note. Look, all right, okay. I've just done a lot of talking, so
It's fine. Come on.
all right. The thing is, right,
You're wrong.
I fucking love this band. For many reasons other than them being a rock band. They're not a rock band. They're not a metal band. They are so many different things.
Don't pigeonhole them, dude.
Yeah. I could have said that a lot quicker. Thanks. Right. But I wasn't here when you guys talked about fucking Live Outside when that came out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you weren't here to defend
so
that.
when I first heard Live Outside,
I hope you've got some fucking compelling arguments.
Alright. Okay. Live Outside, I heard that and I thought, right, I'm not so sure I'm going to like this. Bear in mind, I like I pretty much like everything that they've done apart from their first album.
Mhm.
I don't like Take to the Skies, I just find it really like annoying and kind of like, it's very childish, the whole kind of like chugging over like...
The MySpace era.
Yeah, as I said before.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that died a death.
Mm.
However, to me, Common Dreads, A Flash Flood of Colour, and the Minesweep are all incredible. But the Minesweep is like the fucking like the highest regard in my opinion. I absolutely love that album, as you know. So I knew that this album wasn't going to be heavy based on Live Outside, and they'd said in interviews that this was going to be much more simple, less of a like jumping all over the place genre-wise, and kind of like accessible pop songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I don't really want a watered down Enter Shikari. And then what I got was, on first listen, a watered down Enter Shikari. And I was like, I don't like this. And then a lot of fans that you speak to will say, well, that's the Shikari effect, as they basically say most of their songs you won't like it, and then it will just get stuck in your head, and then it will just sort of go like that. Second listen, started enjoying it a bit more. Now, absolutely fucking love this album. Right. I think that there's nothing wrong with the fact that they've dumbed it down, because it's still very, very experimental to me. Like, the more, I mean, how many times did you guys listen to it?
3.
We have 3. Okay, I'll take that. That's fine.
A lot. More than 6.
Yeah.
More than 6.
More than 6. No,
No, good amount.
so
man.
7. Yeah.
More than
6, less than 10.
Right, okay, in that ballpark. What I did is I thought, well, alright, I always listen, there are bands that I listen to a lot. I'll go pick up the CD, I can have it in good quality in my car and listen to it properly.
Yeah.
And I've ended up absolutely loving this album. And I think that it's because you have to, as you're talking about comparing Prophet's Rage to Rage Against the Machine, it's to just not be able to compare it to other stuff. And
Just
I'm a
be
fan of
completely
pop.
objective.
Yeah,
and-
like I like a lot of the hooks and the pop elements of it. I like it when it gets a bit more passionate, like at the end of fucking what's it called? Shinrin Yoku, the song that's kind of like about a place in Japan. It's called like forest bathing, where you can go. It's like a meditation sort of place, and he's talking about like feeling like an empty inbox and all that sort of stuff. And then as it goes to the end, there's this lyric where it just gets really fucking not heavy, but kind of just like urgent, and he's basically saying like, we are, what's the line? Like, we're dust on the glass windows trying to comprehend the cathedral. Basically just like, we're nothing in this huge world.
Yeah.
And because I've always liked how political Shikari are, and they've done it in a funny way, and they've done it in a serious way.
very obvious way, they've done it in a subtle way,
But this isn't really so much. It's still political, but very subtly. And then I heard Take Your Country Back, and I was like, to me, my first reaction to listen to that song was like, this is almost like A-level, entry-level politics. Like, you've gone from being a really smart kind of political band to just being like, I don't want to take my country back, I want to take it forward. It's just so, it seems so basic for them.
Yeah.
But then like the chorus on that song, as I said, like I think that chorus is fucking huge.
It's a good chorus.
Yeah.
Actually.
And so even the first song, The Sights, like probably the poppiest song on there, the chorus on that, and Live Outside, like those first like 3 songs. Because bear in mind the intro and the outro don't really count. That's like, so you've actually really got 9 songs anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like those first 3 songs are so poppy, but they just got under my skin. Anyway, I'll let you guys talk about it for a bit, and then I'll talk about some other little details and stuff. But,
Want to go fish?
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
just gradually
Shall we go into
descend into hate.
what you like? It'll be easier than what you dislike.
yeah, let's keep it positive.
Going into this album, I'd heard the single Supercharge.
Which wasn't on the album.
No, it wasn't on the album.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking we're going to get some stuff like that, which was pretty heavy in the end of that song. Had some real guts behind it.
Yeah.
And I just went into this album, and it didn't really deliver on that front for me. What I do love about Shikari is that whole pigeonhole thing. They can get away with doing this kind of thing. But
it is unlike anything else, though. That's the thing.
It is.
There's not. I can't think of any other band that does this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But they, in my opinion, were writing music, being so experimental and out there, wanting to make a statement and rebel against generic pop music. But they've kind of gone full circle now, in my opinion, and have just gone that way completely, radio kind of friendly, which is a little bit sad in my eyes.
Yeah.
What was the other point I had going into Rabble Rouser?
Oh my god!
I absolutely
no, but I thought, fuck, this is going to be a big tune. The title, Rabble Rouser, that intro riff.
Yeah.
I thought when this kicks in, it's going to be fucking huge and heavy, and it just goes kind of into emptiness.
A lot of people,
like,
myself included,
very airy, and
it's kind of like housey.
Housey,
like, and it's not. It doesn't. You expect a drop. And
I expected that big drop at the end of the single Supercharge for it to be on the same kind of level as that, and it just didn't deliver. And I was like, oh fuck, where's the Shikari grit and spirit and that angsty,
like a Gandhi mate sort of moment.
Exactly. But it just didn't happen, and that's kind of what I felt like through the album, and it just never grabbed me at any point. So ultimately a bit disappointed. Yeah, that's but I didn't absolutely fucking hate it. Like, it's not awful. It just I
would probably be.
I thought they could have done a bit more. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm sure Shikari will come back with something fucking crazy in the next album. Like, to me, it doesn't mean that you should just write them off. It's like.
This is the first album for me that's needed multiple listens, which is a shame, because
it's my first Shikari album that I've listened to and haven't enjoyed. Like the 3 albums you mentioned, I've loved all 3 of those
from the go.
And so I'm a bit disappointed I'm sitting here saying this. But
yes. Go on, Rob.
Like, I really wanted to enjoy it. That's my point.
That's the ultimate thing of the album. It's like a huge disappointment from all the other stuff I've heard. I've not heard a lot, but. Like, coming into this, like hearing it on Radio 1 like so many times a day, and then the album being exactly the same all the way through.
Like, you mean in terms of like not heavy?
Yeah,
Or- right. Okay.
as in
'Cause
like,
I
as in
wouldn't
very
say
radio friendly. Like the only
Yeah.
thing they needed them on that album as well was like a Spanish song. that's all the rage at the minute. So
yeah. That's the thing,
stick
isn't
that
it?
on there.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I like this piece of music here. When it builds up, I just expected it to drop.
Yeah,
and
that
just
Rabble
go
Rouse song
fucking
is like the
mental.
biggest.
Like a huge being in a club.
Yeah.
Like,
have you got
it's
anything to
gonna
say on
sound
Rabble
fucking
Rouse? Because I
huge.
wanted to pick up on that song, Leesky. Alright, I'm gonna. I'll let Leesky talk.
Go
about
on,
it, yeah.
go on. He's about
Right.
to fucking burst here, so
What I'm about to say, I'm
it's gonna go down in podcast history.
I'm not saying it to try and be funny. I'm not saying it to try and get a reaction from anybody. It is hands down the worst album I've ever listened to in my entire life. Right?
Fucking hell.
Bear
Wrong.
with me.
Wrong.
Bear with
Fucking
me,
wrong.
right? I listened to it 3 times because I thought there has to be something positive
sort
for
of-
me
to
to
sort of
say
cling-
about
to
it.
cling on to.
And to be honest with you, I've just wasted my fucking
Yeah.
time. That they are minutes of my life that I'm never getting back. Right? They
Again,
are.
just wanted it to end.
They are without a doubt my least favourite band on the planet, to the
Wow.
point where if we're still doing this podcast, when they release something else, I'm just going to politely decline to
Fine.
even listen to it, because the only impressive thing about this album is that a group of musicians have managed to put out an album that actually sucks the fun out of listening to music, and that is all I have to say on it.
Wow. I have to ask. I have to ask. I'm going back to your reaction to the Minesweep. I remember, and obviously because you came out of that one saying like, "Oh, it definitely wasn't for me." Like, but you sort of said, "Okay," but there were a couple of moments on there that I could understand. the
I could
appeal.
understand.
Yeah.
I can understand why you
Yeah.
like that album so much. I can
Yeah.
understand why people do enjoy that album.
Yeah.
But honestly, I fucking hate this band.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Is that it? Do you want any more?
Oh, well, I just there's a couple of the bits, obviously, because this
Yes, you do want
yeah.
some.
I want just a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Just basically because it's fine. Like I there's stuff that we just adamantly disagree on. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's not everyone has the same taste, and you know, I. No disrespect to anyone that likes the band. You
Yeah.
know, I just.
Oh, the Revolt of the Atoms.
Oh, yeah.
Was the one song that I probably took the longest to start enjoying, which was the.
No, that was
But you were telling me the other day
yeah.
you quite
That
liked
was
the song, yeah.
probably one
It
of the.
just sounded a bit like Tainted Love, a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah. That.
Here we go.
I didn't mind that.
I fucking
Didn't mind
sat
that.
there
Didn't mind that at
listening
all.
to it, and I genuinely, at first, I was like, "Has something happened to my Spotify?" I was like, "Am I listening to fucking Depeche Mode now?" I was like, "What is going on?" I looked. I was like, "No, this is still Shikari, and it's still shit."
Yeah. Fisher, you're.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't hate that song.
I did.
Yeah, because the thing is like neither of us have mentioned like the kind of I guess ballad songs on the album. There's 2 of them. Airfield and An Ode to Lost Jigsaw Pieces. Kind of like because they've done that sort of thing before. On Flash Flood they had Constellations,
Constellations, yeah.
which was like not a personal song. It was much more about like. I guess like destination and kind of like your
Yeah.
place in the universe and shit.
Yeah.
Same again with
Being
Defuse.
guided by
Yeah.
by the constellation.
Yeah, and that was like epic as fuck. And then, but I think that he's got this like real ability to work up a vocal line with a piano and a trumpet in certain cases because this is all like a lot of the instrumentation is them playing. It's not just like programmed in. Like so you're down and you're like. But that don't mean you're out. You know that repetition phase at the end of
Yeah.
Airfield. Like that is. First I heard it, I was like, oh, it's a bit fucking soppy in it. And then, but I can just see how seeing that live, you will repeat that phrase, and it's got that ability to just kind of have that massive ending.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same with An Ode to Lost Jigsaw Pieces. Like, because I saw an interview. Like, he's not ever been the kind of person to talk about his personal life, and none of the
No.
songs have been about them. But he talks that he broke up with his girlfriend from like 4 or 5 years, and his nan passed away, who he was like super close with, and something else really bad happened to do with like mental health and all this sort of stuff.
I was definitely
then-
getting that feeling. Sorry,
Yeah, personal.
about a personal loss.
Yeah.
Of some sort. I even thought, was it maybe about Tom from Architects? Was it another like a tribute rolling in?
Not
Like-
that I've heard of. I mean, possibly, yeah. But
There was, the vibe I was getting was a very much one that was like something's now. Well, yeah, that missing piece, obviously, but
Yeah.
like a tragic event.
Yeah.
That's what I was drawing from that song.
So that kind of
yeah.
like ability to sort of like write, because that song goes everywhere. You've got like guitar stuff, piano stuff, fucking trumpets come in, and then it gets really sad bastard, and then it explodes again at the end. But like, there's like this bit where he just sort of says like, "I've lost all pieces of like a piece of my jigsaw."
Yeah.
You can like, you said when I first heard it, I thought he was actually crying when he was singing it. I was like, that's pretty powerful. But my only real gripe is that the Spark. What's the Spark? Then it's the album, and then it's the Embers, which is
That
like
intro was just nothing.
Yeah, so it's essentially just like symbolizing like, okay, because the whole album is about kind of like going through shit and like starting a new beginning. So it's like the fire is basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
But again, like after the Minesweep, the kind of the energy part of me wants to just have more of that. Like when we go see them, it's going to be mental. Like 'cause their live shows are mental.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping that it's not dominated by all of this stuff, because
Oh,
I
me
think it'd
too.
be good live. But like, if you compare it to like Anaesthetist off the last album, I wanted, and like Rabble Rouser, as we just talked about, I just did not get that song when I first heard it. I was like, what? Like, okay, I get that you're going a little bit with that like dirty, housey sort of.
Felt
bounce.
like I was on a night out.
Yeah, like, but the thing is
Not
they,
a good
they, they have because they all came out around like the house and jungle kind of like scene, which was like melded into their music. So when they do that stuff, I was like, well, this is like that, but it's just not the kick. There's no drop, like you said.
Yeah.
But then I heard it more and more, and I saw like a live video of it on their album show. And I was like, oh, actually, it kind of looks like it makes sense live. It just kind of goes off a little bit. So I think that's sort of made for that. But anyway, as I'm going to talk about when we get into our topic, to do with like singles and stuff. Another impressive thing is just where the fuck they found the time to do this alongside releasing a book and singles and touring and the 10-year anniversary. Like, maybe if they could have took a little bit more time or something.
Putting together a stage show.
Yeah. I
hope they haven't sacrificed on that front.
Yeah, they've
actually.
just got back from America doing some shows over there. So
They're
they've
still
now
equally as
it was
impressive.
like a month until this. I hope that arena show was like the fucking bar. So I'm hoping it's going to be just. I'm going to guess it'll be the same sort of standard. But it's a month to go. So whereas last time they spent like 3 or 4 months fucking preparing for it. So. Right then, Leesky, what's your rating?
0.
0.
I just want to repress this memory and forget I ever listened to it.
I'll find you a worse album to listen to.
I really don't think you will. I was genuinely very surprised at how much I hated this album.
Oh, wow.
0.
3.
3.
5.
5. I'm going with an 8.
Okay.
Oh, it's
8?
Yep. Mate, do you not tell I really like this album?
Yeah, I can tell, but fuck me.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. Actually, looking at the Spectrum 5th album, I'm probably putting this out of 5, their 4th best. So as much as I really enjoy it, it's like just after their first album for me.
Okay.
Everything else is like
Beyond.
to be enjoyed for a
They
different.
can't hit the mark every time.
No.
No.
And I think as well, there are a lot of fans that have said it's not like your level of criticism, but that it's not satisfied them to what they wanted it to. So.
Isn't there a lot of Easter eggs in there?
Yeah, there's loads of references to old songs.
Yeah.
At least he was like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna finally finish talking about it," and now here I go again. There's
Kill me.
There's loads of little like nods to old like lyrics to like "Look What We've Done to Ourselves," that whole thing from the first album, and then there's like "I Feel Supercharged," which is like song Supercharged, and other little bits and bobs about like what's the bit you were moaning about? Don't want to take my country back.
Oh, I hate that. Fucking hated that vocal line.
And he's like, I feel like we're living on the edge, which is like referring to what's the song?
I was in a shitty mood that day and I heard that and I was like,
I thought it was Old Jay. I was like, don't want to take my country back.
oh god, that grated on me man, so much.
Right, let's get on to my biggest disappointment of this week. Foo Fighters. I'll just spoil alert. I didn't like this album. Foo Fighters, Concrete and Gold.
Yeah.
I'm
want
with
to
you on
start
that.
off?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Say something good, Lacey. You've had a rough week.
I'm going to be honest. I did not have a good week this week with
Did I
with
have
what we were
anything good
listening
to
to.
say? No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I thought the album started off quite strongly,
Yep.
and it just sort of
Yeah.
I can't even pinpoint like where it started to lose traction. Like
Like the third or the fourth song.
I was enjoying listening to it, and then it just sort of became background noise. And then suddenly I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like it's gone from being, like I said, a really strong start to it's somewhere along the line. It just becomes like dad rock
Yeah.
and not good dad rock.
Yeah.
It's like the sort of stuff you'd hear at a wedding, and
Yeah.
you know you'd just see like
Really inoffensive, bland, safe. dad
yeah,
rock.
it is just like it is just safe. They're not pushing anything. They're not. I don't know. They weren't really. It's almost like it was phoned in. Like,
It's
the
really
fact-
surprising for Foo Fighters to do that.
Yeah, and I thought it started off really strongly. I did. I sat there. I was like, yeah, no, like
Yeah, I think we all liked Run, isn't it? The
Yeah,
first
Run
single,
was
didn't we?
good.
Yeah.
Run was fucking awesome.
What's their other single? That one's
Skies
got
and
Skies
Neighbours.
and Neighbours.
I
Yeah.
actually quite enjoyed that as well.
That
I
was
didn't
awesome
like
as
it
well.
first time I heard it.
I
but,
thought it was fucking more Rag and Bone Man than Foo Fighters, that song, to be honest. But yeah, just got worse and worse throughout the album.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting.
My problem with it was that, like, the thing is, like, we all like Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl's a fucking
Yeah, he's a
legend.
cool dude.
Like, and I'm not going to knock them as a band because they're a fucking great band with a, like, outstanding back catalogue of good music. But since their first 2 or 3 albums, I mean, maybe Wasting Light was really fucking good in my opinion. But other than that, we've got so many albums with, like, I would say half of the albums are good, like half of the tracks are good and half aren't so much. But did any of you guys watch the interview with Dave Grohl and Lars Ulrich?
No.
So that I linked you guys. Like, he's on one in this interview and he's really fucking funny, talking about the stories about the creation of it and like touring experience and like how they met like Liam Gallagher at the just all of these funny stories to do with like Glastonbury and shit like that. And I watched it and I was like, I'm really excited to hear his album because he was talking about how like Paul McCartney played drums on Sunday Rain, which was the one that Taylor Hawkins sung on. I think that's like track 6 or 7. But it's like a cool story that Paul McCartney plays drums on the album, and then you've got the guys from Boyz II Men singing on the last album. But it's like, then it just, the way he describes it, it's like, then it just explodes into this huge thing that we've never done before, and it's just so fucking, like, just layer upon layer. And I was like, I can't wait to hear this. And then I heard it, and I was like, it's just not what he describes it as at all. Like,
Shit.
and there's fucking Justin Timberlake sings on.
Do you know the bit he sings?
It's like the la la in the background, like the oohs and ahs or whatever.
I think someone I can't. It was on the radio. I think it might have been Radio 1.
Yeah.
They're asking him, like, "Where's this Justin Timberlake bit?"
He's
Like,
like,
it's coming. It's coming now, and it's like a tiny little 2-second bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it just could have been anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants to name drop
Yeah.
him.
I think it was just like they're such a big band. They don't need features, but it was just like they were nearby and they jumped in the studio. But like I think the general consensus is that this album is better than Sonic Highways.
Okay.
Like the reviews and people's reactions, but I actually really disagree. I think actually the opposite.
For me, Foo Fighters have never released an all killer.
No.
Like that. They seem to have usually 3, 4, or 5 really good tracks, and then the rest. Like The Colour and the Shape was a prime example. Like a lot of filler. Like Foo Fighters, I think, throughout their career have been quite guilty of that. And
they're able to make a really solid set. Because
of course
the
they've got some
good
gems,
songs
man.
that they've got
They're really
are fucking good.
Yeah.
But then other than that, they're just a bit
God, they've written some
shit.
some poor stuff as well.
What was it? Fucking.
I think they're just the band you have to take the good and the bad with. Ultimately, like if you want those hits like your
Everlong.
Monkey Range, Everlong,
Oh,
you're gonna have to.
Everlong's a fucking shit song.
Oh, fuck off.
I think it's just because it's been overplayed been overplayed.
I can't handle it anymore.
Luke's is like nothing.
I'd give it a 0.
In this podcast.
-1.
If you,
It's just,
Go lower than 0.
if I could have gone lower than 0, that Shikari album would have got lower than 0. Everlong is a bad song. It's been overplayed, and I'm just sick of hearing it.
You've got overplayed sort of issue with it, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this album.
Yeah.
T-shirt, the first song I really enjoyed. Like it came on and he was singing like about, oh, I don't want to be a king, and I'm like, it's all this humble little bit on the guitar. It just comes in with this fucking chord, and I was like, oh yes, here we go, old school Foos. And then Run, I was like, yes, fucking wicked. And then Make It Right, this like real kind of janky, swingy kind of like upbeat kind of rock song. And then Sky's Neighborhood, I thought was okay, kind of a little bit that melody. But overrated. There's big in that one up as well. And then it got to like Dirty Water. Oh, I just fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's just so, it's
not a particularly memorable album.
Yeah, from
Nah,
there
it's
though.
not.
Yeah. From there, just
there was a couple of little moments
just
in the second
declined.
half of the album that was like, oh, okay, I like that little vocal line or whatever, but nothing that grabbed me and was like,
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Yeah.
I think like it's the same problem that like it's good to see. I'd rather a band under promise and over deliver than the opposite.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, whereas like the Shikari album, they didn't really say too much before they came out. They just said this is a bit simpler. Whereas this, I was just seeing like that artwork,
All the hype.
concrete and gold, just like sort of the big, the pub and all of
Yeah,
all of it.
pub.
It's the fucking Foos, and you see them perform with all of, because their live shows lately have been like on fire.
Yeah.
With fucking Rick Astley and shit like that. I was like, this is gonna be sick, and then it came out. I was like, just really
Too much
dud.
exterior bullshit going on. And they missed the point with the music. What
Yeah, it's
really
like
matters.
it could be a really, really good classic rock album, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Like if they
Well, look, the Big
Yeah.
10's next, right? Their 10th album's coming.
fuck me,
This is their 9th album.
fucking hell.
So could be huge, the next one. I hope so. You think this far into their career?
If numbers have anything to do
Well,
with it,
yeah.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Do they really? I don't know.
No pressure.
10 albums though.
Yeah,
It's a fucking good career.
I still really want to go see the Foos.
I've never seen them.
Yeah,
Like,
I've never
but-
seen them.
I think if they were to play download, I'd go and watch them, but I don't think I would pay to go and see them.
Yeah.
More just the fact that it'd be hard to get tickets anyway. It'd be expensive.
Oh, I didn't
tickets.
even think about that. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
they're a good band.
Scrooge McDuck over there. I'm not worried about the money.
They're a good band, but I don't own any of their albums, and honestly, I can't ever see myself thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go spend money on that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't spend money specifically to go and see them. Like they just sort of exist for me, and just like, yeah, all right, keep doing your thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's kind of, in a way, like, I mean, I'd say I'm probably more passionate about them than you are, but I'm like that with them as well. It's like, yeah, good songs, but I'm not like, oh my god, Foo Fighters. You know, they're just a band that have always been there, that have got good songs, that play big epic shows, and everyone likes them. You know, we were jamming on Friday. Me and Josh came down from Italy, and we booked out a studio all day, and we were just jamming songs all day. And we just started dicking around, and we just ended up playing Everlong. And then we went straight into just Times Like These. I was like, I forgot I knew how to play this. And then we were just everyone just knew the song and just joined in, and it was, you know, and it would be like that. You could take that anywhere around the world, and people would know the song. And they're of that sort of size. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
anything else to add on this, Rob?
No, I think all agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. How many songs are there? It's like 11 or 12.
I think it's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it a 5. Really, really, really average album.
Yeah. Average. That's the word.
Yeah.
Average.
I was going to go 5 as well. It's just very middle of the road. Like it's not a bad album, but it really isn't that great either. It's just there.
Yeah. 3 or 4 I'd go. Just
Fucking hell!
like, for all the albums we listened to, that is the one I wanted to get through the quickest.
4 for me.
Right. Okay. Anybody go to any gigs last 2 weeks?
No.
No.
Just me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I I'll keep this one brief. I went to go see the Australian Pink Floyd tribute band on Wednesday in Cambridge.
They all count. Any good?
Yeah, really good, man. Like,
What?
Do you really like Pink Floyd?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, who here likes Pink Floyd? Pink Floyd?
I don't like Pink Floyd.
No, I'm not a fan.
Mate, like the thing is, they were a band that I was brought up on, and I found it to be so experimental and weird and drab and just boring. And then all of a sudden, I just get it, and it's like one of those things where it kind of explains why I like music with a lot of depth now. I think because Pink Floyd were just so ahead of their time. Like the level of shit going on is just mind blowing.
Very progressive.
Yeah,
Very.
and we saw Brit Floyd earlier this year, and it was at the Cambridge.
Brit Floyd?
Brit Floyd. So
Yeah.
the British version. But this was like we were at the back seats, and it was just pretty like old, like sort of demographic there. I played like quite a good range of their stuff, mostly from like Dark Side of the Moon and sort of the Wall and stuff like that, and Another Brick in the Wall, sorry, and yeah, like ridiculous production. Like the light show is insane. Like I took my sunglasses for it. It was that insane. It's like the last time I sat really close to it, and it was just like I actually came out a bit like stunned, like fucking hell.
A bit dazed.
Yeah, and they've got like the big circle with all of the like video projection of all of their old like if you've ever seen Pink Floyd shows. Yeah, just outstanding like musicianship and performance. But definitely like I went with my dad and my friend's mum as well, and it was like more for an older audience, I suppose, isn't it? I wasn't going to start a circle pit. But there was
you could appreciate what was going on.
Just to harken back to the Marilyn Manson thing with the stage prop earlier, they brought out, there was a moment in, I'm not sure what song it was, but there was like all this smoke on stage, and I was like, what the fuck is that behind the smoke? And you were talking about inflatable stage props or whatever, and I just saw this massive thing just like grow in the background, and there was a big pink kangaroo. God. Your faces. And because obviously they were an Australian Pink Floyd, and it was just a massive pink kangaroo, and they were just playing this fucking massive inflatable kangaroo, just bouncing in the background.
That's really
It was
weird.
kind of like, I'll put a photo up for the podcast. It was kind of terrifying. If I'm honest. Yeah. But yeah, really good. Definitely, if one of them comes to like King's Lynn or something, go check them out.
Okay.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. They're out and about doing their thing, doing them justice.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's cool.
I mean, I can't even imagine like the original being that much better. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
But
wow.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess they are because it's like Real McCoy sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we get on to our topic?
Yeah.
Then? I don't know how far we're in, but
No, I don't.
no, let's do it. So we are going to talk about the relevancy of long play records, full albums versus EPs. I'm not sure how much this relates to rock and metal. I think you guys might have some examples, but there's a lot of bands that are taking a bit of a backseat from like full-length albums, now, aren't there? How do you guys feel about it? Do you think that it's still important to?
I think it is because I think you wait so long for like your favourite bands to put out new music. I know that if they were releasing EPs instead of albums, you'd probably have a shorter wait. But I would rather wait that extra time for a full-length album that I'm genuinely going to enjoy. And I think there's too much these days of people wanting instant gratification.
Yeah.
Just be fucking patient, right, and just enjoy what you're listening to.
Yeah.
I would rather have like 12, 13 songs to
Every-
listen my way through instead of get like 5 new songs. Because if I'm waiting for a band to release music, I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, well, that's done already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's quite nice to have that little slice, though, I think.
12, 13 tracks every couple of years against every year, perhaps 3 or 4 tracks. I think I'd take the wait and be patient.
Yeah.
Because you've got time for them to. It kind of works in a big cycle where they do like a massive world tour,
Yeah.
go regroup, have some time off, come back fresh, write a brand new album, and then tour, repeat. And that kind of works for me. That cycle, this whole
It's nice to have that anticipation as well.
like, oh fuck, that band have been quiet. Like now Parkway Drive have been quiet for a while, and it's like no one really knows what's going on there. And then if they would come out now, or perhaps a year ago, which would have been like a year after Ire, and release like a little EP, I'd be like, doesn't have the same impact for me, you know. So
I think it depends on where the band are in their career. Like,
that's a good point. Yeah.
American Head Charge, for example, been away for 10 years. Then they put out an EP, and then you kind of know what you're going to get.
To be fair, that was a very good EP as well.
It was a good EP. And then that gives you that spark again about this band's coming back, and we're going to get a full album. They're like 9 Inch Nails on the EP. Again, waiting for the new album. And 9 Inch Nails are back. We're talking about them again. So
yeah. And they're a band
depends where they are,
I'd
depends
rather
where they are,
short slices
that's a
of,
good point.
actually, to be fair. I think something like that. Just talking about the Foo Fighters album a minute ago, they actually released the St. Celia EP in 2015 after Sonic Highways, which was really fucking good. And going on that album, as we pretty much all agreed we preferred the first 4 or 5 songs, would you rather have that than the full album? That as an EP?
That's a good point.
You know?
But what you're doing there, though, is you're
Not getting 5 shit songs.
what you're doing there, though, is you're taking an album that you know already has got like 4 good songs on it,
Yeah.
and saying, well, would that have been better as an EP? But that's because you know you're cutting out the shit.
Yeah.
Whereas they could have released 4 or 5 track EP, and it could have been 4 or 5 of the worst songs, you know.
Yeah.
You-
But do you think that if they'd have put out those first 4 or 5 songs that we enjoyed and didn't have those crap ones, it would leave a better taste in your mouth about it, and you'd go back to it more?
No, because I would still prefer to have a full album to listen to. And to be honest, I'd be really pissed off if a band I was waiting for to release new music released 5 tracks and I didn't like them. Because I'm like, well, I've not even got the rest of the album to listen to and hope that actually there is some good stuff in there. I've just got 5 tracks of shit, and then I can wait another year for them to release another 5 tracks of shit.
I mean, it's
would it
happening
not be like more Little and Often, though?
singles?
Yeah. Like if
I
you were
mean,
doing
Machine
that.
Head were discussing doing that, weren't they? Because what was the last track they released?
Is there anybody out there?
Yeah, I really liked that song, but they were talking about releasing singles and doing EPs just to keep people interested in their music.
They would certainly be leading the way if they were to do that in metal. There's no one else.
doing it in
Well, Mastodon just
pop?
put out an EP, didn't they? So, which we need to probably look at.
Yeah.
What do you think? I think it's Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
He only does singles now, so he's not going to do an album again. He's going to put out singles.
I think it
Here
makes
and
more
there.
sense in pop music, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know, like, we think of something fucking garbage, like the Chainsmokers, like something like fucking dumbed down,
I
like
just think-
just digestible.
Yeah.
Like for the radio, that's its purpose. Like,
Like
I
this
don't think
throwaway
so.
kind of mentality where like
It's
you
only
have
gonna be
the
popular
hit,
for a month or
it's
so.
big for a month, and then like literally everybody forgets.
I think, like you said,
About
it makes more sense to do something like that in pop music because you've got so much competition there that you need to try and keep relevant. You need to
That's it.
you need
man.
to keep these people thinking, oh yeah, no, they're still really good. They're really good because, like you said, Rob, it's going to be popular for a month. It's going to be gone.
Yeah.
People are going to forget about it. Whereas I think in rock and metal, you have an established career, and people aren't going to forget who you are. You're not just going to fade away.
that's it. If you're established, I think you can afford to take time away, and people need to miss you. That sort of thing. You're not oversaturating the market. Whereas if you're a relatively unknown band and you're like, yeah, we're going to take a couple of years off and write an album, no one's going to give a shit and they'll forget about
Yeah.
you. So that is why it's important to kind of...
Yeah, but that's where rock and metal fans are a lot more fanatical, loyal, and sort of invested in their in the musicians or the music they like. Whereas pop, it's a lot more of a fad or I liked them for a bit. Let's move on to the next like, popular, shiny, sugar-coated piece of bullshit that comes our way, and then chew that up, spit it out, and move on to the next one. Like that seems to be how it is in pop. So therefore, regular singles in the competition aspect is a lot
if it's your full-time career and you can and you're together as a band that much with the time and the creativity and the inspiration to constantly write music, then it can work. Like, sorry Lucy, I'm talking about Shikari again. But after their last album, they've, in that time, just before that tour that I kept banging on about last year, they put out Redshift, and that was like a pretty poppy song with a huge epic ending. And then they had about half a year later, they're still touring in between. They did Hoodwinker, which was like heavy as fuck, and then about 4 or 5 months after that, they had Supercharge, which are like three, and that's enough time in between to still have a Radio 1 hottest record of like the week or whatever, which they did, and then they're kind of staying on everyone's mind enough, and then in the process, we're still writing this new album. So that's kind of like there's no like actual period of absence there.
Yeah.
But I think that might be due to the fact that they're a completely independent band. They're not signed to any label. They are their own entity. So they've got that freedom to do that. But
that's pretty clever, actually. Clever marketing.
I think it's a good way of doing it. But it's just like, as I say, it depends on the how much time you have as a band to get together and do that. You know? If you've got the inspiration to write songs that can stick out outside of an album. Because there's something to be said about a Mastodon or something like that you don't want Mastodon. Well, you might do with the EP, but most Mastodon albums you want to hear as a whole album, as a concept, as a journey.
That's it. And how much of a journey do you get with 4 or 5 songs?
Yeah,
probably not that much. But what were your thoughts on the Mastodon? Have we gone into?
I've only heard the single. I've not listened to it.
I've only heard was it Toes to Toes?
Toes to Toes, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
What's it called? The EP.
Cold Dark Place.
Cold Dark Place. Yeah.
We'll probably get onto that on the next podcast.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Something that happens in hip hop. Have you heard about like mixtapes and things like that? I'll put out a new mixtape, or you get.
I'm aware of the phrase, but have no idea what it means.
So like,
you're not down with the kids.
What's a mixtape?
So a mixtape comes from like sort of like the early 80s.
Fucking up, really?
Kind of like DJs would compile like different hip hop artists together as a compilation CD on like a tech deck or whatever. Tape deck, sorry. And they would call them mixtapes, and it would just be like sort of instrumentals with different verses on top and stuff, and it would just kind of be like demos and throwaways, and it wouldn't be like a body of work like an album. And then like
so this is like continuous music, it's like remixed.
Yeah, you get stuff like that, and then you'd get like just a collection of songs just chucked together,
like a mashup.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. If you listen to like Beats Radio 1, they have like on the hip hop shows, they'll have like playlists and like mixtapes and stuff, which is just like songs that blend in, and that's a bit more modern than what they used to do then. But I would be that's kind of like a thing. Like Drake last year put out, I think earlier this year, he put out More Life, which was their mixtape, he called it. But essentially, it was 20 songs. It was like an album. It was like, so hip hop artists.
20 songs.
20 songs, but
fuck me.
But a lot of them are like little interludes and bits and bobs, like that kind of like tie them all together. And it's like they're saying, well, this isn't my artistic release. This is just like a bit of experimentation that I'm doing. And I would be like, if I was a successful musician in a band with the time and the resources, I'd be interested to try that as a rock band. But it's different as a band because there's multiple members and it's a longer process to put music together, whereas with hip hop artists you're given beats and samples, and some of these artists like Future and Young Thug and all those people, they just get together in a matter of a week or so. They've literally laid down like 15-20 songs like so quickly, and they just put it out, and it's just out there, and it's like
doing that and then an album. You find the time to write an album and go, oh, here's 20 tracks of me just fucking around a bit. Yeah,
but it's still like, that's the thing is in like that. Okay, so that More Life was just a fuck around mixtape, but it got more streams than any of his previous albums because he's like at his peak of his career. So I wonder whether that could work in a band, like whether bands could take on that sort of mantra and say like, let's just release some, because you do get like B-side albums and stuff, don't you? So, and like demos.
Didn't Chimera release like 2 tracks that were just jams?
I think so,
There was just some improv.
Yeah.
There was an extra CD that came with their Black album.
Right.
And there were like 2 tracks on there that were just jams. They were just not proper songs, but they were just kind of cool stuff they'd written but couldn't really put into a song, so they just fucking released them. They're pretty cool. They're not really well structured, but
normally keep them for next album or chop them up or something.
yeah,
something
no,
different.
Chimera just put
What
them
about
out.
like Garage Inc. by Metallica? When they did that, they did like one album of covers, and the other one was just like random little demo songs, but it sounded like well produced. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, Garage Inc.
Yeah,
was
not
okay,
for a long time.
Yeah. But there's like, I'm not talking about you, but when I see a band's like, oh, unreleased demos, I kind of go, oh, well, I'm not really that interested to hear it then, because it's probably just the songs that didn't make the album.
Yeah.
Mudvayne done a similar thing.
Steal this album by System. Was
Yeah.
complete B-side.
So I guess
Really?
they're kind of
Steal this
Oh,
album.
right.
yeah.
That's fucking awesome songs on there.
Yeah.
So kind of our
I didn't
example
know
of
that.
this sort of stuff within rock and metal. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it's just what the band prefer, I guess. And what-
if you're that prolific, I suppose you could. Like a lot of upcoming bands at the moment that I'm sort of like friends with and stuff, they have made the conscious decision to not put out an album until they get signed. If they do, they're saying we are just gonna put out singles and try and get buzz that way. And
yeah.
that's when it's more relevant when you're at the start of your career. You know, like take like the 1975, who have become a massive pop band at this point, but they had like 2 or 3 EPs independently released, and they got such a buzz around those EPs, they then put them all together, and that was then their first album. Remixed and remastered and sort of re-recorded, I suppose, but that's kind of like, that's pandering to the, I guess, instantaneous nature of like the music industry now.
Yeah.
Rather than just going, hey guys, we're this new band, you've not heard of us, have 15 songs. You know, kind of what my band's doing. We're going to be recording an album soon, but like, you know, when people only heard 1 EP and we're going to chuck an album at them, that actually feels like a bit of a massive gamble in a way, do you know?
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that.
It probably didn't used to, but
No.
for us it's like, is that the right thing
Well,
to
the
do?
landscape's changing
Yeah.
a lot, man. Like, year on year, it's getting crazier and crazier. And
Yeah.
probably more ruthless competition and stuff like that, but
If you could have an EP from any of your favourite bands, who would it be?
I don't know. I mean, Lamb of God did one. They did the Duke. That actually worked really well, you know. I sit here and say, like, that traditional format that works, so, you know, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it kind of thing. But that was quite cool, the Duke EP. But other bands,
I can't
I
really
just think
remember.
like it's like a fucking Devil Driver EP.
Well, I was about to say that because I mean they're
But Devil Driver brings out an album every 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm sure he said like we don't want to be the band that makes you wait 4 years for an album.
yeah,
Like we're gonna work hard and you're gonna get an album every 2 years minimum.
yeah.
Because Beast was released
That's very quick.
very, very quickly, and you can tell that was released quickly
That was
because
rushed.
it was a pretty poor album, to be honest.
Yeah.
So some bands have it in them, some don't. Yeah.
Well, to follow up Pray for Villains was fucking
Yeah, I mean that
quick as well.
that's a huge task there, but I think because it was such a huge step in a different direction for them as well. This is when Des was getting in, like really into his like really underground deathcore sort of.
Yeah, he was touring
And
with bands like.
He was getting like really small deathcore bands to support them. I mean, this is when Devil Driver were at the top of their game, and they really fucked themselves over with Beast.
They did a crusade,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah, they did.
but it
Except
wasn't.
they're
it
really
wasn't
struggling
so,
to come back from it.
It wasn't so detrimental, I don't feel. Yeah, I feel a band actually. I got in my head for this. A band that sort of mess around with other bits and pieces, experiment a little bit. In Flames, an EP from them would be pretty cool. I'll be interested to hear like a short play album from them. That'd be quite cool.
I'll take one from Devin Townsend actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rob Smith would take one from
I'll
Devin
take
Townsend
anything
as
from
well.
Devin Townsend. Fucking love that guy.
I was listening to some of his albums of the day, and I was just like, "This is great." But
He's
like,
amazing.
I kind of it just after like 5 or 6 songs, I was like, "Oh man, This is intense. Like
He's a very intense man. That
Yeah.
fucking scream, it is piercing.
Yeah, that video of him playing at the guitar exhibition.
Yeah, just him and a guitar.
Yeah.
Did, on that clip, did you see him play one of the Strapping Young Lads track?
Was that towards like the latter?
Love, I think it was.
Yeah. I think that-
yeah, his voice in that song is insane. Yeah, love.
What was you saying? What was we on about?
I was saying I would take
Gone
an
to David
EP from
Townsend.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. I like EP I like from someone. I don't know. Has to be a bit more thought again. Mudvayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mudvayne.
That would probably be a
the-
logical move.
I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
in the same vein as Head Charge releasing an EP there, because they've been gone for so long.
Headcharge's EP was really good, although you didn't hear any of them songs on the new album. And I think 2 or 3 of them songs are really old tracks, like almost demos from Trap Nation album.
Really?
Yeah, they were old.
So what was
They were
that
just
EP
remastered.
called? Shoot, wasn't
Yeah.
it? What was on that? Sugars of Sunday.
Yep.
That was the weirdly catchy song.
Sand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't remember the other ones. Not about it in front of me. But yeah, Mudvayne.
Maybe As I Lay Dying should, if he's gonna
ease their way back in.
if he's gonna do
Yeah.
anything like that,
An EP would be good for
just to
As I Lay
fucking
Dying.
just to
Just
test
dip
the
your toe
waters.
Is it too soon?
Let's not hit them with a full-on fucking album. Let's just
Dip your
push
toes
our
in.
ways into people's consciousness again, and
Yeah.
with a little EP. If it gets
Good answer.
rejected massively, it's not a huge disaster, right? Like
Yeah.
seems like the perfect solution.
I'd say good answer for that one. Yeah.
Go back to Mudvayne quickly. They on their Facebook, they from out of nowhere, they had a clip that just said new music on the Mudvayne. This was a week or so ago now,
Yeah.
and there was thousands of comments on there. And I was reading through them, and
A
it
lot of hype.
turns out it was the guitarist's new band.
Ah.
They put a clip on Mudvayne's
Ye-
Facebook.
Oh, shady.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, that sucks. You know what would really fuck people off? Is if Tool wrote an E EP.
Only 2 songs long. Hang on. A 60-minute EP, like 4 songs. Or
Been waiting 30 years for this.
Most
What
of
if they
just
came
static.
out with like some fucking like 1.5 minute just thrash fucking jams? Like,
Oh man, Fisher, that.
If Tool did that, holy shit, there'd be riots. They come out and put some like 9 Inch Nails static.
Yeah,
yeah,
And that was it.
just a wall of noise.
just 5 minutes.
Shit, man.
5 minutes
Just
of
some
white noise.
fuzz, brown noise, and then just like one.
Oh, it's genius.
It's art. All right then. Okay,
Oh,
shall we
shit.
get on to our game? Of the week
yeah.
then?
Okay.
I'm excited for this one.
Alright.
Share your thoughts, by the way, if you've got anything to add on our topic there, because
Yeah, I'll be interested. Yeah.
You also go first. Yeah, so what was it doing? We was doing
this is
misheard lyrics.
Misheard lyrics in rock and metal. Any kind of screams that might sound sort of convincingly like something else. I've been talking all your ears off, so let's go.
Alright, fine, I'll go.
Go on,
I'll
Rob.
go.
Can you before you go? Can you tell us what the song is by what band and quote the lyric before you play the clip so we can get it?
What, the misheard lyric?
Yeah. Quote
Okay.
what the misheard lyric is.
Alright, so this is from a band called Attack Attack.
Oh God.
The song's called The People's Elbow.
Right. Okay.
And there's a line in it that sounds like all the blood of the Mexicans. Is
Right.
what I think it is. So have a listen, see what you think. There you go.
Build that wall.
It must be a Trump thing or something like that. That's quite an old album, actually.
What was the actual lyrics? What's the
I
song?
think it's all the blood from the massacre.
Right. Yeah.
Was it? Because I
Yeah.
definitely heard Mexicans.
Yeah, I definitely hear Mexicans as well. But Yeah, that was my first one.
Okay.
You got one or two?
I got two.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go for the next one.
My other one is from Slipknot.
Go on.
Yeah, it's from Idis.
Right, no, it's different to what.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What's the
The lyric, I've forgotten it now. Now, putting something in your butt, but here we go. Do me in my butt now. I don't know what he actually says, so.
But that's all you're ever gonna hear.
Yeah,
now.
that's all I hear now.
I love how quick the sample is. It was just like the way he screams afterwards as well. Where he instantly regrets whatever went in his butt.
So yeah, they're one two I found. I found them years ago, and that's all I ever hear. They're the ones that stick out for me.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah, okay. I've only got one clip. It's a Metallica clip from Enter the Sandman.
Enter the Sandman. Entrance of the Sandman.
Yeah, I don't know. Some bullshit about an apple pie.
Oh, okay. Hold that thought.
Alright, here we go.
Pie is a recurring
About an
theme.
apple pie.
Yeah. In the big apple pie.
Yeah, no, and a baked apple pie.
Come on, get it right for fuck's sake.
Alright. I'm a baked apple pie.
Never before have I heard it like that. Never.
You will now, every time.
You've really fucked it for me now, haven't you?
Who wants to go next?
I don't actually know which bit you've got for me.
Oh shit.
We've got to figure it out.
This is my favourite one so far.
Alright.
And what we think he's saying? Well, for how many years?
Is
many.
Is this shredded wheat?
He's saying shredded wheat, I reckon.
Yeah, it is Chased Through the Woods by a Rapist by Waking the Cadaver.
There we go.
Oh god, yeah.
I got the whole thing.
Jesus.
I have no idea what that is meant to be.
I don't think anybody does.
For years, we've just thought it was shredded wheat, and I'm sticking by it.
Breaded.
Shredded. Fuck that band.
Those big squeals. Fucking hell, man.
Is that your only one, is it?
Yeah, that's the only one I've got because that is
the best one.
That came into my mind straight away. I can't think of anything else. It's got to be shredded wheat, shredded and shredded and breaded wheat.
I forgot about that band.
Good.
Right.
That's for the best. I
Yeah.
think.
My first one is Solosis.
Okay.
The song is called Visions of Demise.
Yeah.
And the lyric is about the lost identity of a cherry pie. Cherry pie, the future so uncertain.
You want to hear it?
Obviously.
Obviously.
You reckon it's
Okay.
cherry pie?
Yeah. What's the
Cherry
fate
pie.
of the cherry pie?
I want to know because he seems most upset.
I think he might be saying terrified, but
Oh,
I
right.
don't- yeah.
I mean,
I've just got cherry pie.
Diction. All right. The next one is by The Story So Far. Have you got that there?
Yeah.
Yeah. The song's called Quicksand, and the lyric you're about to hear is, "I'm trying hard, real hard, every day, not to lose my tampon."
Trying hard, real hard, every day not to lose my temper.
shit.
1 second.
Trying hard, real hard, every day not to lose my temper.
He's got issues with his tampon.
Maybe get some new ones.
Maybe.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know who my
YouTube
favourite is.
was my friend on this
Yeah.
game.
Like,
There were some
apple
gems
pie.
on there as well.
Yeah.
There were some really good ones. Cherry pies, baked apple pies, and tampons.
What was yours again, Rob?
Blood of Mexicans.
Oh yeah.
And putting it in his bum.
Doing me in my butt now.
That was the script. I immediately regret this decision.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the game.
All right, that was a funny one.
We'll have a proper game next week.
Yeah,
shall we?
It's fun.
we'll get to an actual genre. I wish that was a genre. That'd be great.
Let's do Scar.
Scar?
Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scar
Okay.
punk, just Scar and just
Scar. Scar in general.
Just Scar.
All right. Okay. So last week I talked about the Weird and Wonderful Marmozets. How are we all feeling about it? Very.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool
Yeah.
album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
liked it.
I was
Enjoyed it.
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
To me, it sounded like a heavier Paramore.
It's
Like,
not-
I'm talking like first album
This is what I'm saying.
Paramore.
Way heavier Paramore.
Yeah.
I'm going. I was going like
Gonna make that comparison. Yeah.
Gallows cross with Paramore, kind of. That,
I
I don't know that
Yeah.
janky, jaunty guitar work in more. Think Orchestra of Wolves. Gallows. Like,
I know what you mean actually. Like,
Oh shit.
last orders.
Professionalism has gone out the window.
It's that time of the podcast.
Right. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, that's just what I was getting from it, really. Yeah, like a female-fronted, old school kind of punk.
I did find that
Punk
at
vibe.
some points it sounded very indie rock, but then suddenly it was quite heavy.
Yeah.
And she's got quite a scream on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool scream as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like
I-
pretty.
It's like a heavier Paramore. And who's that other band that Carl? You know exactly who I mean.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Yeah. I'll get it in a minute.
Yeah, when you remember, just shout it out. It doesn't matter what anyone's saying. But I definitely got that sort of vibe as well.
Yeah.
Like, her voice is very, very similar.
That's who I.
Keep talking, because this is going to bug me.
All right. Any songs in particular? Like I think you mentioned. I'm not sure what song it was, but the riff was.
That Muse-esque riff in, or from Knights of Sidonia.
Yeah.
That really cool, bouncy.
Whatever
When
that
I
is.
heard that,
Yeah.
like, I instantly.
Do you know what I
sort
mean?
of,
Yeah. How about Cry? I think that's the one I mentioned.
Oh yeah, that's the
Kind of
ballady one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you know what I mean about like how
her range
her
is really
actual
cool.
singing voice is just
Yeah.
like mental. And then Alter Bridge inspired, what was it? Hit the Wave, that song, like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
fucking chorus. And some of the like breakdowny bits. I mean, I talked about it on the last podcast, but yeah.
No, it was
enjoyed
good, man.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I
yeah,
liked it.
it was a good. Yeah, was happy to like, go through that a couple of times. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, and again, I think they're a band that are pretty in their own sort of lane. Like, they're
Yeah.
heavy, they're catchy, poppy.
They'll go places. For
Yeah.
Sure. They've been on all over Radio 1 this
I mean,
week.
they-
I'm
also-
hoping they kind of stick with that direction though, because their single
Play. Yeah.
it sounds a little bit more tame.
Dream State.
Dream State.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're a band who could. You could see that are definitely going to be tempted by the pull of
Shit.
the
Radio,
mainstream, like seeing, like maybe getting the taste of being on Radio 1 and
Yeah.
going down that route. It'd be nice to hear them stick to their
I think that
kind
their
of roots,
second album. I'm glad I squeezed this one in there before the second album came. 'Cause
Yeah.
it'll be soon. But from what I've heard from like live shows, that they've got a range. I don't think it's going to be one thing again.
Okay.
So, because I mean, you could make the same comment about like "Why Do You Hate Me?" The second song, that album
Yeah.
was really catchy. Did you get the point that I was making about Dillinger for Top Man?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. At the time, we had no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, it completely makes sense now.
Kind of like the silly, the mental song on the album, isn't
Yeah.
it? All right, cool. So, what have you got for us this week?
Right, I got to try and read my notes because they are all over the fucking place here. Okay. Right, this is an album that I have liked for the last 13 years. So it came out October 2004. And coming off of Comeback Kids album, we talked about the Sum 41 vibe.
God, I'm intrigued.
So I've gone with Chuck by Sum 41.
Ah,
Have you heard it?
I
yeah.
haven't heard this album, no.
It's good. So this is my All Killer. It's a lot more mature than All Killer No Filler and Does It Infected, and it's more politically motivated.
Is this their first album?
No, this is their third.
Oh, okay.
And it's got a mix of metal and thrash and punk and more of a aggressive pop punk.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of
It's a really
sound.
diverse album,
Yeah,
actually.
it's
from what I
got
remember.
well all those aspects in it.
What year was it?
2004.
Oh, fucking hell,
Fucking
Fisher's
hell.
already said that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Listen.
This was the last album with the guitarist David. But I can't pronounce his second name. Brown Sound.
Yep, that's his name.
Yeah, this
At
was his last album with them until he's rejoined again. Didn't he?
Yeah, he has.
They seem like a much better band than he's
Yes.
in.
And I think he had a big influence over because they from Playing for Pleasure, they're always into their metal stuff and their old school metal, and like Tack was a big influence to them and stuff. This album was named after a man called Chuck. He was a UN peacekeeper.
Oh fuck! They
They were in
tour of.
They were doing a documentary in
They got shot at,
Congo,
didn't they?
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was I don't know what
How were
happened.
they? Congo.
Yeah,
Fuck.
they had some I don't know some people shooting them.
Well, yeah, civil war
yeah.
fucking broke out.
And this
stuff,
guy
right?
called Chuck took them all into this hotel room and kept him safe basically. So they named the album after him. So that's a bit about Chuck. There's no song called Chuck, but okay. Right, yeah. So the track's on there. It starts with a normal intro, and it goes into No Reason, which is probably the catchiest chorus in pop punk history. You remember that track?
Nope.
Alright, cool. You'll know as soon as you put it on. No Reason. But yeah, it's super catchy. Yeah, good start.
Right.
I've never heard this album.
Oh, you're not?
No,
Oh, you've heard it. You've not heard it.
I probably would have done, but I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
it might,
surprised
it
you
might,
haven't
it
heard
might start
this.
come flooding back.
Yeah. Yeah, No Reason. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, really catchy. I think it was one of the first singles I put out. Actually. And then on the second track, All to Blame, which kicks off the like heavy element
Yeah.
throughout this album. It's very thrashy, very and it's got like heavy breakdown. It's about the state of America
I was gonna say
in 2004.
it went quite
Like,
political.
yeah, like Americans' image, how they're greedy and like the typical Americans.
kind of obnoxious and
Yeah,
self-righteous. And
yeah, and like,
whatever.
there's a line in there saying everyone wants it all, but with no sacrifice.
Mhm.
So yeah, a real heavy track that is. And then it goes on to Angels with Dirty Faces, nice catchy bit of pop punk, with that still that bit of aggressive undertones in his voice, like for pop punk. Pop punk. Yeah. See now this is where I get lost. Track 4. Some say is a ballad of sorts, but it's still very much enjoyable, very catchy. Got that classic Sum 41 like, bounce to it. Then the bitter end is an awesome thrash track, and all the way through, and it reminds you of Battery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
But don't think about Battery too much because then it becomes Battery.
Okay.
You'll
Hector just creeps in the
yeah.
back.
Yeah. No, there's a riff at the end which is it's just battery.
Right.
I feel like all he's saying is battery.
Yeah. Yeah, then goes on to Open Your Eyes, like straight into this from like straight after the bitter end, and it's more of a track from All Killer No Filler, that sort of vibe. Yeah, it has all that sort of bounce again, but it's still a lot harder and a lot faster than All Killer No Filler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was that? Let's hang on.
I wonder why you were trying to rewrite
Yeah, I
the
know,
notes
right?
before we started.
Yeah.
Get this man a statement.
I got on 2 bits of paper. I don't know which way around they are.
It's like your first day as a news anchor. Shit!
I've lost all my paper. Track called Slipping Away is the second ballad of the album. Still, it's a really catchy. It's got a good sway to it, and there's like a violin strings sort of essence to it in the background. But it's not very long, so if you don't like ballads, it's only 2 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm Not the One is the 8th track. Another earworm with a breakdown out of nowhere on it. Again, showing the metal and thrash side of what they're doing on this album.
I can imagine it's quite cool the crossover with pop punk and thrash.
They're really
'cause
good at the heaviest
Yeah.
stuff. Really good.
They're not two things you really put together.
No,
but
just think of the catchiness of what All Killer No Filler was, and
Yeah.
Fat Lip and Into Deep and things like that, just with heavier, faster riffs.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, a
That's-
lot of galloping, like triplet
Yeah.
type stuff. Yeah, okay.
But like in Not the One, this breakdown comes in. And it just comes from nowhere. You wouldn't expect it. The start of the song is just another classic like pop punk sort of track, and then comes in this heavier part of it. And then
Sounds
after,
like a reverse of that Comeback Kids song. Like
yeah,
thrash
yeah,
it and
yeah.
pop punk, kind of like the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then goes on to a pure punk track like Welcome to Hell, and it just screams like No Effects and old school Offspring, which is really good. And then goes on to a track called Pieces, which splits up like the heavier stuff and this punk stuff, and goes more into a power ballad sort of thing. But there again, it still has that Sum 41 like catchiness to it.
They're very distinct, aren't they?
Yeah, and like his voice on the album is a lot rougher, a lot more raw than all the other ones. You kind of saw that a bit in Does Look Infected, but this is like more out there, more like focused. Like this is the types of music we like.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to put in the album instead of just trying to stay on that one
Stand
sort of
that one
genre.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're making a statement.
Yeah.
Is it political? Is it a political? album?
Definitely all to blame. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of it is. Like, some of it seems a bit relationshipy.
Yeah. Because Still Waiting.
What?
Relationship.
Yeah, that's a word. No, I mean about relationships. And
Definitely, like, the reason I ask is because Still Waiting was a track that was.
Oh shit!
It's descended into chaos.
Oh no. I love it when Rob
Um,
Smith has an all killer.
Why?
Just
The
his
new
words,
words that come
out.
just his
Speak.
words, like huger and relationshipy.
Rob Smith tries English.
Yeah,
It's good,
Must
it's
have
good.
tried English.
Sorry, Rob, carry on.
What would you say?
Okay, it was you.
Still Waiting was the political track.
Yeah.
They appeared on Rock Against Bush, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I think like they've always had a political side to them. I
Yeah.
didn't know if this being a more faster, aggressive kind of album, whether the lyrical content was a bit more in your face, political kind of.
No, it's still subtle. It just but it's there. You know
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
there more than the others.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's been an album that I've been meaning to get round to a lot. Actually, since you made the Comeback Kid comparison like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now's the ideal time.
Yeah.
So,
There's
cool.
another couple of other tracks. There's No Reason, which is just like a Linkin Park track. It just reminds me of that all the way through. It's a bit of a filler track, but it's not out of place on the album at all. And then it goes on to 88. I don't know why it's called 88. No idea. The last part of this song will make you want to put the song on again.
Okay.
Like an awesome thrash ending to it. And that's the end of the album, the normal album. But you might find a version of the album that's got a bonus track called Newts.
Okay.
Yeah, more of the same. Some 41, catchy, bouncy sort of stuff. And you could. Well, I mean, you could have swapped Newts out for Pieces or one of the other ballads, so it doesn't not fit the album.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to listening to this again. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, I've liked it before. I mean, like, this album was probably one of the ones that got me more into the metal side of.
That's crazy, man. That Sum 41 were like
Yeah,
the gateway into
into
like
metal,
heavier.
especially this album.
Like I just think someone says the name Sum 41 and I'm thinking like fun, swilling your beer around, house party,
Yeah.
just
See, I could have picked
like
All Killer No Filler.
lightheartedness. Sum 41,
Yeah.
but the fact they've got a metal side to them is pretty fucking cool. Actually.
Like I said, the heavier stuff that they do, they're really fucking good at it.
I saw some footage of their demo performance, and they seem to like really play up to that.
Yeah.
Like,
Back in 2004, like they covered Master of Puppets.
yeah, they did like a Metallica medley at Down this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
Yeah,
saw
it's like
them at Sonosphere, didn't we?
Yeah,
And they didn't want to stop playing, and they actually
cut 'em off, didn't
yeah,
they?
they cut them off, and they just carried on playing. Like you could just hear, like
Without the PA on.
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
really
because
quietly.
they weren't done.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were not done, and like they cut the sound. They were just like, no, we've got another song in us yet.
yeah. It's
Okay, now we're done.
we saw at the UEA as well. I don't know if any of you guys are. I know that's
I
what
wasn't. I
Mark
wanted
is.
to.
That was so much fun, and like the heavier stuff, like from Chuck, sounded real heavy.
I've
like,
never seen them live.
Never either.
Never, man. I really
so
want
much
to.
fun. So much fun.
Next tour.
Yeah, it's brilliant album.
Awesome, man.
I picked
Awesome.
instead of.
Looking
I
forward
could
to
have
this.
picked
Yeah, me
All
too.
Killer No Filler, but
Yeah.
take that.
Cool.
So no actual Killer No Filler from Sum 41.
It was definitely there. It was either this one or the other. So, Chuck by Sum 41.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's us done.
Well, that's
then for
us,
the week.
man.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
That was hilarious.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We got through that without offending you know,
Everyone.
I don't know. I think I offended the entire Shikari fan base.
Nah, they're fine.
Good. Probably.
I offended the English language.
Yeah, you did. You really did
I
that.
do that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We did offend Double Chins and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, we did. It's not our fault he's got fat.
No, not really. Yeah. Good to yourself, mate.
Exactly.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll be back with you in a few weeks with some more. We haven't got a topic decided yet, but
Oh, albums for next week.
yes.
We'll do Marilyn Manson,
Yeah.
Faces, Closed Fists,
Yeah.
August Burns Red, which was out today.
Saturday,
I'm going to go home and listen to that.
And
Very excited.
Black Day Early Murder.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah,
Apparently it's a very good album.
So we're recording this on Friday the 6th of October, just to timestamp it if there's no continuity there. So depending on the time that you hear this and when releases have come out, there you go.
See you in a month.
Yeah.
The Christmas episode.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Take it easy.
Thank
Bye.
you.